My name is Josh McCallen. I'm part of Accountable Equity, and you're standing in Alex Felice's YouTube channel, my good buddy, but also you're standing at Renault Winery Resort, one of the special assets that all of us Accountable Equity investors own. And we're here to teach you a new way to raise capital that'll change your life forever. Yeah, it's been a journey. You know, creating Accountable Equity was something, a lot of intentionality went into the early stages. And I remember the early stages, we're sitting here trying to buy one big asset.
It was like a single syndication model.
Yeah, I learned syndication from the real estate guys. The whole thing I definitely took away from that training was that the act of raising money is a business. You go to buy a building and you say, let's raise money to buy a building, and you look at the funding part as a part of buying the building. But for us, as soon as you take $1 from somebody, you're now creating a security. You're now in the business of managing a fund. And yes, your technique of increasing their wealth is by buying buildings, but you're now in the private equity business.
That serves you so well because you're a hospitality.
It does.
Driven so deeply.
Yeah, so hospitality is like a superpower, as you always say, Alex. Yeah, so what is hospitality? It's the idea of transmuting service tasks for the greater good of somebody else. That's what I think of as hospitality. We always say it's a ministry. Ministry means you do simple things so that the person feels loved. Well, in our business, we said, well, if we're going to raise money, it's its own world. We're going to dedicate our life to it. We created a podcast all about capital. And we said, what is capital? Capital's human and financial, and you need the both to make wealth. But when we created Accountable Equity, we wanted the name to be the first question. You know, the answer, the first question of every investor. Will you be accountable with our equity?
Other people don't have what you have, not even by a long shot. I'm like pleasant, but I'm not hospitality. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have it like you have it. And I feel like, you know me for a while. I'm a very service first guy.
Yeah, you are.
I really am, but not like you.
So yeah, I mean, Accountable Equity. So now this year, we believe we'll be in the Inc. 500, one of the best, fastest growing companies in the country. And we've been playing this long game as a group of us, you know. As soon as we had investors, we knew we were in this world of private equity. You know, so first we set up the funds. We didn't even use the name of the property as the fund. It's not like
yeah, I saw some of your early ones. It was like Accountable Equity number 4.
Well, now,
whatever it was, right?
You know what? It was very intentional. We knew that there would be a series of funds. So, we put the Roman numeral 1 in front of the first ones on purpose, you know, like this is the beginning, folks. Capital H1, which was short. Not many people know this. So capital H2, keep H3, now we've done an H4. And you know what those are all focused on is these hospitality, our core expertise. Those are the hospitality big resorts and assets. And what the name meant was capital hacking 1, capital hacking 2.
Love it.
The theory was, you know, working in resorts for very wealthy families before all this, they loved owning resorts. And I was like, that's like the ultimate capital hack. Like, it's the ultimate secret. You have a cash flow engine that you're in love with.
Yeah.
You can't wait to bring friends to. It's a trophy for your life, and it's a massive wealth engine. So I call that the ultimate capital hack is where you're making money to things you love, you know. So
yeah, I'm trying to do that right. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Right? It's very surface level if you
Can we take this real quick?
Wait. This is Alex. Thank you for calling.
I just happened to be with your buddy Alex.
I talked to him on the phone earlier.
At some point a few months ago, I think he said, let me come up and we'll do a YouTube thing with you. And I was honored, and it happens to be today.
They have a lot of greater benefit than just being an equity provider. And I really didn't know what he meant by that. And he said, you know, there's an elite membership.
What are we going to do now?
We're going to do the historic tour and tasting because this is a very special event that they created where it's not just a tour of a winery. There's a whole meal involved. This chef right here, Chef Michael, he's going to give us a tasting. By the way, we're in the little Cafe LaFour. Did you notice how pretty this is, Alan?
This place is gorgeous. Your whole place is gorgeous.
It's so pretty, isn't it? that's the nice thing about building hospitality is you get to, you know, if you're going to spend the money and invest the money in building something pretty. We used to do houses, which is great for the wealthiest people, but then only that little family ever gets to see those beautiful features. Here, everybody does.
I got some questions on my Facebook. This is a new little segment I'm doing, and I want to answer my fans, your future fans, questions. People are prone to comfort, to complacency. What's the decision that broke your comfort mold?
Okay, I'm not exactly sure I've ever been comfortable. We live in a perpetual, my wife and I, Melanie, live in a perpetual state of, I would say it's a little bit like an anxiety. We feel like we owe more to others. The last time I was comfortable was when I served as a president for a company that we had helped build. And what got me out of the comfort zone was a radical shift in visions, right? So the principal of that property and those properties wanted to stop growth, and I wanted to continue growth. And it got to a point where tensions rose, and that actually forced a discomfort upon me because we had to part ways. And that parting of ways, I would have not awoken in the morning to decide that.
They forced you into it?
It was kind of a forced opportunity. And it's been the biggest blessing in my life is that shift. So I went from comfort, thinking that we had a capital program in place, a culture program in place, an acquisition strategy in place, and I thought we were just having partnership struggles to we're no longer partners, we have to chart a new course. And that's been the biggest blessing in my life, though it was extremely uncomfortable. When you're working on a 160-year-old building, you're always going to have to find these like treasures. You can shy away from this part of restoration, or you can fall in love with it. I personally love it. Take a look at this 1800s construction. It's like put my finger in here and probably dig this all out. It is literally mud, right? Just some mud. So anyway, this is the kind of project at Renault that we find every time we try to make it better for the guests. But soon we'll have really great artisan pizzas coming out of here. We'll have a whole hotline. We'll be able to serve all the guests because our outdoor restaurant just became extremely explosive during the pandemic. And then since the pandemic, we're kind of famous for outdoor dining, vineyard life. We call it the vineyard hospitality life. So that's what it's like working in old buildings.
The thing that's best about Renault, other people probably can't experience because not everybody gets to hang out with you like I do. You love this place more than anybody. And it oozes, bro, it drips out of you. I did this tour with you. Like, you started the tour. It's your tour. It's you own the place that happens every week. I've been on it with you twice, and you, I'm sorry to say, like, I don't mean to be rude, but you're more impressed by it than I am. Both times, and it's your place. You love it. I mean, do you recognize how much that comes out of the user experience, like your guest experience, that you love this place more than anybody?
Well, you know what's interesting is we hope that same ownership mindset that you're describing is happening on so many levels with each teammate, especially the teammates. We teach them to say, this is our resort. We did this, we renovated that. Because you're right, I think the guest who shows up and feels that love coming from someone who's using the personal pronoun about the ownership, it transmutes directly. And yes, me as a teammate who got here first with Melanie and Matt Faircloth and the great people like Eric Cabral, we were all here first, man. We saw this place dirty. And we got here and
Eric was in on this early?
He was. I love my buddy Eric.
I like Eric too.
So we were all here visiting. I remember Matt and Eric came and they're like, let's do cigar bars.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. But we haven't gotten there yet, Eric and Matt. I'm sorry about that. We will get there. But why does it ooze from me? There's a lot of pride. It's like a baby.
Yeah, dude.
And by the way, there's a saying. Remember the name Viva May was one of the words we say revives the soul? We always say that one soul that we're reviving, one is the guest, one is the teammate, and one is the property. And you might say, what soul of what property are you talking about? Everybody who ever built a special property gave up a little bit of their life. Like a baby. You give up a little bit of you into everything you build.
Well, I'm going to walk around this place.
Is my soul.
Sunset's coming. I'm going to show this place off for you.
Arrivederci. Ciao. Bueno, Stera.
Okay.
Bueno. Whatever, Bella. Ciao, Bella. Whatever you got. We'll see you back here in the morning.
What's your name, sir?
My name's John King.
And what do you do here?
I'm the provider of special entertainment and I'm the music man here at Renault. This is our beautiful festival ground right here behind us, which will turn into our beautiful winter wonderland. Magic for every family that comes here every single time. From fire pits to the most beautiful big lollipops for the kids, hot chocolates.
What, is there anything going on tonight?
Tonight we have our historic taste and tour of Renault Winery, which we do every single Wednesday. We bring our guests in and show off a property with 6 food and wine pairings. And of course we got a bunch of great groups that are here today celebrating the property as well.
Dude, you got good energy.
Hey, thanks, man.
You got good energy. We need to get more of him on camera, Josh.
Josh, spent 2 days here.
Yeah.
Place is lovely as always.
We love having you here.
Yeah, I'm very grateful. We had coffee. This is our diner here. We talked quite a bit about hospitality, but we didn't really talk enough about raising money.
We like to think of raising money as an organic outgrowth of trying to do the right thing. So for us, raising money is in and of itself a whole priority and a company. And instead of just having it be a function of a resort or a function of a real estate company, we made it its own company with its own mission, its own vision, its own people. It dawned on us years ago when we first were trying to, our expertise is to do resort redevelopment, repositioning, value add. And you say, well, then the capital partners become wonderful extension of that, right? They get to have the economic benefit of real estate. We get to do our calling, which is value add, and hire people and train a culture and give people great places to work, which is kind of our core skill. But then we said, is that the right way to look at the investment community? So back at the very beginning, when the sand was inside the oyster and we wanted it to become a pearl, we realized, let's not call ourselves a fundraising company for specific real estate. Let's actually reorient the fundraising activity into a community of investors. And I like to say it's by investors because all of it was created by the group of investors. It's now run by the investors. So it's really come full circle. So by investors, for investors, with investors. And that's probably why we've grown to hundreds and hundreds of active, paid investors and thousands of people that are inquiring about investing. And we're not in a rush. You'll like the way we do funds. Sometimes we do funds. First of all of our funds they're pretty much evergreen. And we encourage people that buy into our resorts and our real estate to have perpetual equity value. We do have a date within 5 to 7 years when we want to recapitalize the property through debt and then give it back to the investors so that their capital is back in their house, in their family, and now they're on infinite return, perpetual motion.
Interesting.
That's basically the way we look at equity in real estate. We look at that in most real estate that we're going to be looking at is this is a piece we want to own forever. These are the strategies that the families who were born with wealth have always used. It's just that our investors are the ones that earned a lot. Maybe they're lawyers and they earned a lot. They understand that earning a big paycheck is not the same thing as wealth.
Right.
Wealth is the ability to have some freedom and some structure to your income, right? And some passive income. My name is Josh McCallen. I just want to take a minute and thank you for following along on our work day today and following along on Alex's YouTube page. Have you already subscribed? I did. Boom! We're here for you. AccountableEquity.com. We'd love to share more with you and invite you to find out why investor communities are probably the best way to make an investment.